This is a throwaway account because my siblings are here as well, and English isn't my native language, so there may be some mistakes. I have two older brothers, 1921, and a twin sister. I should also mention that my family is fairly wealthy. Ever since I can remember, my parents have encouraged me and my twin to compete with each other, always favoring her over me and expecting me to succeed in life faster than she did. The first story is titled Parents Demand That I Quit College Because My Golden Twin Didn't Get Accepted. I love her and my parents despite the fact that I feel like I've been treated unfairly. Since we both wanted to be doctors, we graduated this year and applied to the same programs at identical universities. The process here is very different from that in the U.S. If we are accepted, we can start medical school immediately after high school, and she wants to attend the same university as me and my parents. However, I feel like going on my own and having a child of my own. I love her very much, but we've been together all our lives. She's an introvert, and I'm an extrovert, so she follows me around most of the time. It's been like this our entire lives, and I'm really tired. In addition, if we go to the same place, I'd be expected to study with her and help her get good grades, which would prevent me from studying on my own and focusing on my success. My parents will be upset if I succeed more than her, and this will eventually hurt me. I just want to be a person at last, and this is where I might be the Arla. I was accepted to 4 universities, and she was accepted to 2. I waited for her to choose. I suggested a different location, but she changed her mind and said she wanted to attend her second option, so I said it wouldn't be a problem and I would go somewhere else. When she didn't get accepted, my sister became very upset, and my parents were furious, despite my courteous explanation that I loved her, but wanted a new start where no one knew me. They insisted that I attend the same university as my sister, or else they wouldn't pay for my degree, so I said whatever. My brothers and grandparents are on my side, but everyone else is telling me I'm in a role, so I'm ignoring their calls and refusing to talk to them. I read all of your comments, and they're all very appreciated. My brother got me everything I thought I needed, including my cat. I called the university to ask if my parents could enroll me, and they could, but since they never paid, it will be challenging for them, and the university may attempt to postpone them until my 18th birthday. My grandparents promised not to permit them to do so, but it's still good to have a backup plan. School begins on Monday, and everything appears to be set for the time being. I'll keep you guys informed as soon as I have more information. I don't want to talk to them right now because I feel like my anger at them has grown significantly. I hope I'm using the appropriate word, and I feel like I need to calm down before deciding what to do next. They definitely could also use some time off, which is related to what I mentioned. As mentioned in the comments, my first thought was to attend a nearby school so I could visit on weekends and have my own space. However, after realizing that I wouldn't have any space this way, I decided on the school I'm going to because it's the best in my country and offers nice scholarships, but it's the farthest from home out of all the universities I applied to. I suppose it doesn't matter now, so I said yes and did what I wanted to do. I apologize for the delay, but I'm here with an update. I had some issues publishing it, but everything is fine now. I should also remind you that English isn't my first language, though there may have been some errors. But as I believe I mentioned in the comments, school started 2 weeks ago, and so far, everything is fantastic. I have wonderful roommates, and I love my classes. They're a little intense, but I'm persevering. It's really a dream come true. However, a few days after the school year began, my parents apparently called my university and asked for my schedule. They claimed they had the right to know everything as my legal guardians. The school told them that if they wanted my information, they must come and demonstrate their identity. They didn't get in touch with me until a week ago when they asked me to join them for dinner. They even offered to drive me to my current location, which is odd because they never bothered to pick me up from friends. I accepted, and the dinner went surprisingly well. It was a little awkward, but they were nice. Before they said they would cover my school tuition and all other expenses, but only if I took a break. I obviously declined, and after arguing with me, My dad said he had had enough of my attitude and ungratefulness, left me a $200 franc bill, and departed. I'll admit that I sat there crying for about 30 minutes. We're twins, so it's only fair that we start studying at the same time. My parents haven't gotten in touch with me since, but it's kind of okay for me because I got a scholarship, and by the end of the semester I might get another one. Before I left with the change because the bill and the tip didn't reach 200 francs law, I talked to my brother about it. Apparently, my sister decided she didn't want to go to medical school and wanted to take a vacation to think about the future with clarity or something like that. My grandparents pay for one, and they insist that I won't pay them back for the others, but I'm already working on that. My sister responded to my messages yesterday, saying that I hurt her because I didn't want to be with her, and she doesn't know if she can forgive me. I understand her, and I do miss her, but I don't want to give up on my dream, so I think everything is fine right now. I have my grandparents and my friends, so I'll be completely at ease only after I turn 18, which is very soon, when my parents won't be able to get me out of university. Thank you. I truly appreciate you all reading and supporting me. I'm on a very busy schedule, so I haven't finished reading yet, but I promise to address all of your questions because some of you were perplexed by the francs, which we use in Switzerland. I don't understand it either, but it's been that way since we were young. Nothing is wrong with her. We're different in some ways, and she's more reserved and quiet, but not in an odd way. She always kind of tagged along with me, and I wasn't permitted to have friends who weren't her friends or attend events alone. I also helped her study, and my parents got. I feel like we could have been so much closer if my parents hadn't constantly pushed us together. It's a shame, honestly, that I'm glad I can be independent, but I feel bad for my sister that she still struggles. Thank you. I hope things will continue to be great because I want that for my sister too. When asked if their parents made them dress alike, I felt so ridiculous and begged them to stop. In middle school, second story op ran away. I'm upset about me because I think they think she'll find it difficult to be alone if I do well. I think it would be easy to mention that I was never the family's favorite because of his narcissistic family's constant abuse and neglect. They are now worried about what will happen to their family's reputation, not because he ran away. I know that there is a stereotype that the youngest sibling receives the most affection from the parents, but maybe that only applies to my family, but that is a complete lie. I also know why my family treats me that way. They don't hide the fact that I wasn't a wanted child because my parents only wanted a boy and a girl, so there are 2 children and no. Additionally, because I was born as a second son, I didn't fit into their preconceived notion of their family, so I was never allowed to be in family photos or even acknowledged on birthdays. They wanted to convey that their picture book family was exactly as they had imagined it, and they never let go of this image. In addition, my parents punished me far more severely than my siblings for minor infractions. My sister once stole money and was grounded for a week, while I was beaten up for leaving my room at night. Despite their lack of attention, I endured it over the years because I always had a favorable relationship with my siblings. A few years ago, my oldest brother got married, and even though I was still a minor, I was not allowed to attend the wedding because it was a child-free wedding. I was 15 at the time, so there was no reason why I couldn't go, but I accepted it. Now that I'm 19, my sister wants to get married. She gave birth to a daughter last fall, and she and her partner wanted to get married. I was really looking forward to the wedding and eventually purchased a nice suit for her. When I pointed out to my sister that I couldn't attend the wedding because they also wanted to have a child-free wedding and needed someone to watch their daughter, my niece, I knew that wasn't true because they had a babysitter. The babysitter was a friend of hers who wanted to make some extra money while she studied. She explained that she didn't have time because she had to study, which was also a lie because I had already added her as a friend on Facebook. And she even wrote a post on the day of the wedding that she was enjoying her day off. I asked her if she knew of anyone else who could take care of the child because I really wanted to be there after missing my brother's wedding. Suddenly, she became upset and told me that I was being selfish. If I were a good brother, I would say yes without question, and if I didn't say yes, I wouldn't be allowed to attend the wedding under any circumstances. It felt like a kick in the stomach, and I couldn't understand why she didn't want me there. Nevertheless, I agreed, but I called my parents again, and they advised me not to be so self-centered because the day wasn't about me, and my sister was choosing the guest list anyhow. I also realized for the first time that my attendance was never planned from the. Since I was the only one who didn't receive an invitation, I started by crying when I saw all the pictures shared in the WhatsApp family group. Everyone had a great time, even when my sister dropped her daughter off at my house, and I wanted to give her my wedding present. She didn't even look at me or say thank you for the gift or for watching the kids. I want to leave this family because I love them, but I can't continue to be treated this way. I'm going to move far away and stop communicating with them once I get promoted at my home office job. That I ruined, and I'll have my peace. Comments Tom F. Just keep looking forward to the day you'll be free of them and never look back. Made me change your last name too. I considered that. Do you think I should leave a message, Tom F? Hear me? Trust me on this. Go hard, no contact, and just disappear one day. Let the police know in private that you're fine. This is a choice so the family doesn't feel the need to pretend they're worried because one day they'll need something, and it will be devastating for them. You will be nowhere to be found, living your best life, which is your future, far away from them. It may take 40 years, but trust me when I say that I'm wallowing in long overdue karma. Good luck, plan your escape, and look forward to the future. There is nothing here for you, so feel free to DM. Why did you babysit for her? If I were you, I would move away, change my number, and keep quiet. However, I figured that leaving them a message would at least stop them from looking for me, just in case they cared enough. 3 days later, I didn't intend to post. But so many people asked me to, so here we are. A few things happened in that time, so let's begin. Stating that I took your advice and called the local police to let them know what was going on in case anyone was looking for me. One day after I posted it, I packed my belongings and drove to a friend who lives far away. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he agreed to let me stay with him until I get a flat. Before you ask, I decided that I didn't want to wait for my promotion because I wanted to leave right away. That's when I started reading all of your comments. Thank you for your. I wrote this because I wanted to tell them everything I felt and let them know about their wrongdoings toward me. To my surprise, my mom called my friend yesterday. I'm not sure if she found the message or just noticed that I was gone like that, but I assume she did. She said she was worried about me and that she had called all of my friends because she wanted to know where I was, and if he knew where I was, he lied to me. Even though you guys told me not to leave a message, I did, but not in the. I know my mom better than anyone else, so she is worried about her own image and how people would react if they saw how she failed as a parent. To be fair, she was the only one who tried to reach out so far, so I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but my friend's mom had invited me to dinner this Sunday. His family was always very welcoming to me, and I'm just glad I'm not alone. I would also be lying if I said this situation left me cold because the truth. I want to move on from this and start a new life for the first 2 nights. Thank you for your support. If something important happens, I will try to update your comments by 42. If it were me, I would blow up on social media because I knew my mother only cared about her image. They hurt you for years because of their image. I'm glad you got away, but your family sounds awful bad and Malcolm. I control the narrative, so I wouldn't rule out the possibility that Op's family would fabricate a story about him running away while high. I apologize for the lengthy backstory, but last year my S36 told me, 28F, that her daughter's bike was too small and that I needed to get her a new one that fit her. I don't mind helping out my family. We can afford to do so and are pleased to. After we got her a bike, I asked if the kids could come over for a few hours and ride bikes with mine, and we agreed. After my niece got on her new bike, I took a picture and sent it to her parents, who replied with a nasty text from my sister accusing me of attempting to steal parenting milestones from her and of being terrible. I tried to explain to her that the neighborhood kids were the ones who taught her how to ride a bike without training wheels, and that all I do is hurt people around me and cause mental and emotional trauma. I only bought the bike, which again my ex demanded I do. She told me not to text or call her because she was too angry and didn't want to say anything that she would regret, and that they would tell us when to send the kids back. I was confused because I had her kids at my house, and I didn't know what to do. I spoke with a close friend and neighbor, and they confided in me that they were. When they mentioned some of the things the kids had said about their home life, they said that they had just gotten off the phone with CPS because they felt that the kids needed a welfare check on their living situation. I honestly agreed with them, but I didn't think I needed to call because I had the kids at my house so often. 4 hours later, we finally received a text saying that they were ready for us to bring the kids back, and my husband walked them home. I replied that I don't believe I'm not trying to present myself as a perfect person. I was definitely angry. I told her that it was unfair to place the responsibility of raising her children on me, and we understand that they're going through a lot, but that their kids needed their own parents. I was tired of her yelling at me for the things that my niece was missing at school, and I was tired of having to explain that their child had ridden a bike before because they had ridden my daughter's bike while my S and Bill were there, so they must have forgotten that she already knew how I said sorry. Foot the bill to care for them. I have my own children. I said that I would gladly back off, but since I'm backing off, she needs to know important information. I told her about the neighbor's CPS call. Looking back, I know that I could have handled it better. I shouldn't have reacted angrily, and I couldn't have been more understanding. My husband's parents have joined the argument, and they've all come to believe that I called CPS because I had a very abusive childhood and have never opened up to them about it. One day, I made a new text group with my husband's entire family, and I apologized. I apologized to them for my frustrated reaction, and I tried to explain why communication is essential to me. My ex then told me, I know you had a rough childhood, so we are all trying to show you how a loving family actually works because someone has to teach you. My husband was furious, telling everyone that he was sick of seeing them treat me the way they have. We tried, but a few months later, I tried to apologize once more, this time writing an olive branch and saying that I wanted to move on. I invited them all over for dinner. Broke the ice, and they actually said they were too busy and the kids could play at Thanksgiving. I thought it went well, but they all talked to my husband and kids instead, so they ended up calling off a family Christmas party because my husband and I are the only ones who are financially stable, and it would be too difficult to handle right now. However, I had the idea to organize an Easter dinner, so I sent out an invitation more than a week ago for the 23rd of this month, asking for RSVPs so I could make plans for each child rather than doing an Easter egg hunt. I was crocheting bunnies and asked for an RSVP so I can have enough time to put together over 18 clues for the scavenger hunt and crochet 9 bunnies. I asked my sister if she would help me plan it before I sent out invitations, but she completely ignored my text. I took that as a no and sent out invites to everyone in my husband's family, including that one silly. I also sent invites to my side of the family, and they all RSVP'd. Yes, my in-laws are unaware. My side is invited. Do I have to let them know? A week after I sent the invitation, I contacted my sister one-on-one to ask if she would attend. I also asked her a follow-up question, but she only responded to the first one and totally ignored my question about the 25th. Given her past behavior, I told my husband that I was not going to put up with that behavior this time, and if they did, we would apologize that we weren't expecting your kids. They could participate, but I will have. I'm tired, but I'm ready to hear my thoughts. My SIL just texted me to apologize for the delayed RSVP, but I finally received a response regarding a scheduling issue. Yes, we can attend the Easter event on the 23rd, and my husband's aunt, who has cancer and lives with them, says she plans to go, but she might wake up that day and not be able to come. I've heard everyone's responses, and I've been looking up Greg's sting. I swear to keep you all informed about how the event goes, and I also promise that until my S moved in with my husband's aunt, we were helping out to take care of them. Then she moved in, and we thought they would take over some of the care, but they haven't, and they also won't let us. I'm coming to terms with the loss of family that I want my children to have, but I am more aware of the example. This will be the last time I plan to get together. The backbone is growing, I swear. We built our house close to my in-laws, who are all neighbors, so we can assist them in old age. My Phil has a degenerative joint disease, and my husband's aunt has pancreatic cancer. Of what is acceptable that I'm showing them comments, Kimry, you should stop inviting his family at all. It sounds like you're being a doormat, and if you do try to win their approval, you'll only get disrespect and hurt feelings instead. However, if you think those kids will show up, you should be the one to not prepare. Don't punish kids for their parents. They seem to get enough bad treatment. Don't invite them at all the next time. She's practically pleading with those who don't contribute. Ignore her and bring nothing but negativity into her world. Can do that elsewhere, and if the husband wants his sister's children to have bunnies, he can knit them himself. Okay, so here's an update now that the event has happened. My S finally arrived just before the event, and I went all out to make sure everyone was there and had a great time. Each child had 3 clues in the scavenger hunt, so there were 30 clues, and they destroyed it in 30 minutes. One of my nephews ended up being a total threat to my daughter, chasing her with a squirt bottle and repeatedly spraying her glasses when my daughter told an adult. I was in another room operating a cotton candy machine in the garage when her grandmother Mill told her that she had to just get over it because the older boy cousin was having a good time, and he doesn't get to come over very often, so let him have fun. I've since spoken to my daughter, and we've discussed that it was inappropriate behavior and Grandma was wrong, and I didn't receive any thank you or good job messages. I had my Mill assist with some of the scavenger hunt clues, and after everything was finished, my Sil had the audacity to say, "Good job, Grandma," but they ignored me completely and said nothing about it. I tried to explain without apologizing that it is not advised to put safety eyes and noses on stuffed animals for children under 3. My nephew is 1, and I didn't think it would be smart to put eyes on it, especially when the kind that I have can come apart if pulled hard enough. However, she didn't believe me and spoke about how I made her life more difficult because now she's going to have to deal with the fallout from my hard work after the scavenger hunt. Just like Thanksgiving, I was ignored by everyone in my in-laws. My mom came because I invited her, and in an attempt to be the best grandma ever, she brought a candy machine. The kids were excited, and I had fun trying to figure it out and getting covered in candy. My in-laws thought it was the worst idea ever. How could giving the kids sugar be a good idea? They all left after an hour and a half, and Phil complained that there were too many guests and that he couldn't have the fam. I am officially done, exhausted, frustrated, and hurt. This is definitely the last event I will ever plan for them. Comment secret in 239, you should stop inviting or allowing these people to attend these events because when you look back on these moments, you won't remember you and your kids or family having a good time. Instead, you'll remember being angry at the in-laws Ducker 74 I would go to NC with. Going to have AK? He couldn't ambush me and have the entire family tell me what I've done wrong to them this past year. You did a fantastic job, everyone. Perhaps you could recruit local parents to assist and do it for all the kids next year. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to hear more stories like this, just subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends. Companions.